Japan, the land of the rising sun. It is a place where the eternal fabric of time is woven, passed on since the age of myths. Its roots can be found in Izumo, known as the land of the gods and considered a matchmaking sanctuary. Epics about deities, such as Susanoo no Mikoto, a hero in Japanese mythology, and O Kuninushi no Mikoto, the god revered at the Izumo Taisha Grand Shrine, have stories based in Izumo. Izumo is also home to history, culture, and tradition, all colored by these ancient myths. The area's breathtaking landscapes are cherished by the gods themselves. The Hikawa River, the setting for the legend of Yamata no Orochi. The water, sand, light, and wind have each helped sculpt this beautiful scenery. The Izumo Plain is nourished by the bountiful waters of the Hikawa River. Its expansive fields and farmlands are dotted with beautiful Tsuichi-matsu pine fences, sculpted from nature by human hands, bringing forth a nostalgic semblance of Japan's old landscapes. Many flowers bloom each season, adding a splash of color to the lush green scenery for varied views throughout the year. The local Ichibata electric railway runs across the landscapes of Izumo. Near Unshu Hirata Station, the Ichibata Railway's hub is Momen Kaido, or Cotton Street. This district was home to a bustling market town that exported fine Hirata cotton to far-reaching places during the 19th century. There are still old houses here from the district's heyday, as well as shops with over a century of history. Stepping deep within the mountains of Hirata, one suddenly comes across a secluded torii gate leading to steep stone steps and a massive boulder with a gap barely large enough to pass through. Beyond this boulder lies Kalakama Shrine, a remote place with a mystical atmosphere connected to Susanoo no Mikoto. In Izumo, the 50,000 ancient lotuses blooming in Kojindani, creating truly magical scenery, are considered the first sign of summer. This is the location of a major archaeological discovery in Japan, the Kojindani Archaeological Dig Site. In 1984, 358 bronze swords were unearthed here, more than all of the bronze swords found nationwide to that point, along with 6 bell-shaped vessels and 16 bronze spearheads the following year. These bronze artifacts, unprecedented as archaeological discoveries, remain shrouded in mystery, adding to the historical intrigue of ancient Izumo. The actual artifacts excavated at the site are on display at the Shimane Museum of Ancient Izumo. The museum also houses a number of highly regarded items related to Izumo Taisha Grand Shrine and ancient Izumo. At last, summer has arrived in earnest. Summer is the sea's time to shine here in Izumo, the land of myths. Inasa Beach is the setting for Izumo's myth of Kuni Yuzuri. Today, this beautiful beach is considered one of Japan's 100 finest and still boasts a legendary charm. Kilala Beach, with its glittering white sand and shallow cobalt blue water, is a great place for a swim. For ages, Sagiura has served as a port town. In addition to its port atmosphere, sure to inspire equal parts wanderlust and nostalgia, the town's red-tiled roofs contrast beautifully with the blue of the summer sea in this hidden gem along the Sea of Japan. Hinomiisaki Cape can be found on the western edge of the Shimane Peninsula. These immense cliffs have a presence akin to an unruly sea god. The chalky white Izumo Hinomiisaki Lighthouse rises above the cape. It is the tallest masonry lighthouse in Japan and offers a panoramic view of the Sea of Japan. Standing out against the blue of the sea and green of the forest is the bright vermilion Hinomiisaki Shrine. It enshrines Susanoo no Mikoto and his sister Amaterasu Omikami, two of the most famous gods in Japanese mythology, and is said that it guards the night of Japan, just as the Ise Shrine guards the day. Off the coast of Hinomiisaki is the small island of Fumishima. This island, which was once a place of worship toward Amaterasu Omikami, is still considered hallowed ground. Only Shinto priests are allowed to visit, and even then only during the festival on August 7th of each year. This event, also known as the Evening Sun Ritual, takes place during a beautiful and solemn sunset, reflecting a sense of sanctity, fitting for hallowed ground such as this. Autumn is a particularly important season in Izumo. The 10th month of the old calendar, known in Japanese as the month without gods, is a time when the myriad gods throughout Japan congregate in Izumo. Indeed, in Izumo, this month is uniquely known as the month of the gods. At dusk on the 10th day of the 10th month of the old calendar, the solemn Kamimukai Shinji ritual to welcome the gods is held at Inasa Beach. The gods stay at Izumo Taisha Grand Shrine for a total of 7 days, where they are said to discuss a variety of matters regarding people's relationships, including matchmaking. The week ends with the Karasade Sai ritual, held at Mankusen Jinja Shrine by the Kandachi Bridge, as the gods return to their homes throughout Japan. rituals wishing for good relations among people are held during this time in Izumo, drawing many worshippers from across the country. As the gods of Japan congregate, the mystical power of Izumo reaches its very peak at this time of year. This is also when the mountains of Izumo change color, welcoming the arriving gods. Gakuenji Temple is one of the best places in the Sanin region to enjoy the autumn colors. This ancient temple has more than 1,400 years of history, with legends of the warrior monk Musashibo Benkei training there about 1,000 years ago. Another great location for the autumn colors is the Tachikue-kyo Valley. Large boulders stick up out of the landscape for more than a kilometer, creating wondrous, almost divine scenery. Autumn paints the trees in various hues, further enhancing the beauty of this valley. One of Izumo's most famous dishes is Izumo soba noodles. Their darker color comes from the fact that the buckwheat is milled as a whole grain, with the bran still intact, giving these noodles a stronger buckwheat flavor and aroma. Wadigo soba is a very common way of enjoying Izumo soba noodles and is said to have originated long ago in the Edo period, when noodles were served in boxes for people to eat outdoors. This is kamaage soba, noodles originally served at stalls around Izumo Taisha Grand Shrine to provide a warm meal suited to the late autumn season of the Kami Arisai festival. This is also when buckwheat is freshly harvested and when the noodles of Izumo are at their best. There is another dish with ties to Izumo Taisha Grand Shrine. Zenzai is a popular dessert throughout Japan today, and it originated in Izumo. It was originally called Jinzai Mochi and was served during the Kami Arisai festival. The word Jinzai came to be pronounced Zunzai in the local accent. By the time the dish reached Kyoto, its name had changed further to Zenzai, as it is now known nationwide. The seasonal flavors of Izumo are always a highlight of visiting. Whether it's fresh seafood from the rough waters of the Sea of Japan, or delicately marbled Shimane Wagyu beef, raised in the great outdoors, the area is home to dishes to delight any fan of food. A quintessential winter food in Izumo is upurui nori seaweed. This very rare type of seaweed can only be obtained from December through February on the rocks of Upurui Bana Cape, which juts into the Sea of Japan. Each piece of this seaweed is harvested by hand by people known as shimago. It was mentioned in the Izumo no Kunifudoki, written some 1,300 years ago, as being a specialty of Izumo, and is said to have been offered as gifts to the imperial courts and shoguns, making it one of the oldest and most prestigious brands of nori seaweed of Japan. In Izumo, it is commonly added on top of the New Year's dish, ozouni, and eaten with dashi stock and soy sauce. Visitors crowd the area around Izumo Taisha Grand Shrine for the New Year, and the traditional Kicho Shinji festival is held each January 3rd to pray for good health and harvests in the coming year. This brilliant ritual is a delight to watch, while also marking the perfect beginning of a new year in the land of gods. Winter in Izumo is also the perfect time to visit the hot springs around the region. Yunokawa Hot Spring is one of 3 hot springs known across Japan for making skin beautiful. Legend has it that the beautiful goddess Yagami Hime found this hot spring on the way to see her lover, O Kuninushi no Mikoto, in Izumo, and bathing in its water increased her beauty. Today, this hot spring is as beloved by the gods as it is by people. Visiting Izumo, the home of the gods, provides the opportunity to experience history in the midst of ancient landscapes. Enjoy the flavors of Izumo. Relax in hot springs beloved by the gods. Every encounter during your trip to Izumo will create new connections. Every trip to Izumo creates new connections and bonds.